Hello, welcome. Today, we are going to be talking about accessibility for images and video. So all of those multimedia things that you're going to use in your course content. So a couple of logistics for today. Today's session will be recorded. I will be sharing the recording and the slides after our session today, so you'll get an email from me with both of those, along with some additional resources that will be helpful to you. Automated captions are available in Zoom today, so if you do want to use those, you can go down to the bottom of your toolbar and select Show Captions. If you have questions during today's session, please go ahead and put your questions in chat. I do have a few colleagues here today who will help answer some questions. And then, of course, we will hopefully have some time at the end for Q&A for you to ask questions then as well. So hopefully by the end of today's training session, hopefully you'll be able to add alt tags, alt text to your images, add descriptive captions, judge when to use a text transcript versus closed captions, and then prepare a video for clear titling and captioning. So to start off, I'd like to kind of review the basic idea of Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. If you attended yesterday's session for accessibility on text documents, I talked a little bit about the Universal Design for Learning, but basically it's the idea that all of your content should be available to all of your students. And for that to happen, it needs to be present in multiple formats so that all the students can engage with it. This is actually why a lot of classes feature audio and visual content as well as text in order to make that content more accessible to learners. Yep, Terry, I did think I started the recording. Let me double check. Yep. All right, so this should not be an either or equation though. It's best to present both text and graphic formats. This is because graphic content can present its own accessibility problems. Text is relatively easy to translate into an audio, but screen readers can read aloud or render it on a braille board pretty reliably. And text is easy to reflow and resize on different screens of different sizes and mobile devices. Your students using a smartphone to get course content or using a screen reader to listen to it, perhaps maybe on their commute home for work or walking across campus, will have a pretty easy time accessing the plain text. But we don't currently have a lot of technology for translating images in that same way. So it's important to think about your graphic content and be sure that you provide alternative versions of graphic information. So I have provided some resources for you, some links here. This is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, the WCAG, and also U of M's Electronic and Information Technology Accessibility Policy. I encourage you to dive deeper into both of those resources. They'll help you to understand what to do and why we do it in relation to accessibility. But by following best practices and standards for accessibility, we can create a more inclusive and equitable online environment for all of our students. So one of the ways that we can provide alternatives is in alt tags or alt text and title tags. These can be applied in both web documents, slide presentations, text documents like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. And assistive technology like screen readers will always note that an image is present and will read both the title and the alt text if they are included. So let's look at title and alt text. The title tag is intended to provide the title of the image. If you do not mention in the surrounding text that the image is, for example, a picture of you, the professor, then you should put that in the title tag. Remember that a screen reader will have already said that an image is present. So you don't need to title the image of the professor. Rather, you'd want to just title it either the professor or your name. Also remember that both human readers and a screen reader will already have read any of the text that falls before the image. So if you've already talked about it or said that in the main lecture or in the page context that the West African lion, such as the one pictured here, is critically endangered, then you probably don't need to title the image at all. You don't need to repeat information that's already in the text. The idea of universal design is simply to make sure that equivalent information is available in both the text and the graphics. Alt text is different from titling. So this is the alternative text, and it's intended to serve as an alternative to visual perception and actually describe the image itself. A graph, for example, might be titled Figure 2.2, but the alternative text, the alt text, would need to actually say what the graphic is showing. So for example, it might say that the graph is showing the declining availability of entry-level jobs over the past 20 years. If the data set represented by the graph is not described in detail anywhere, then it should be in the alt text. Again, the idea is equal information in both the text and the graphic forms. So if you are using a decorative image, for example, like on your slides to make them more visually pleasing, then you don't need to add alt text or a title at all, because the screen reader will read that information and it might interfere with the actual content of your slide. But if you are posting an example image of something that you're actually discussing as part of class or as part of your slides, then you should certainly describe that content in the alt text. Both title and alt text can be added to documents and slides pretty easily. So let me show you what that looks like. So here, these screenshots are showing how to tag images in Google Slides. So you can see here that I am right-clicking on the image of the lion, and alt text is going to show up as one of my options. And then what you're going to find is in Google Docs, this pane will kind of slide out from the right-hand side, and you'll be able to click on alt text. You'll be able to add your description there of your image. And then you'll also be able to add the title of your image if you need to do so. So I do want to show you how to do that in a couple of various formats, in Canvas, on a PDF. So let's jump out of the PowerPoint or our slides here for a moment. And I'll show you that in Google Docs. So I have my document all set up and ready to go with my images. And if you did attend yesterday's accessibility for text session, you'll know that I have my headers already in place on this page as well. And I can see that over here on my outline. But I want to go through and I want to make sure my two images have alt text. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to select alt text. And then under alt text, I can add my description there. So I might say, white, cirrus clouds with blue sky. So I'm really describing the image itself. And then I could add a title there for my image. I'm not going to add a title though, because that information is already here in my document. So I don't necessarily need to repeat that information. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this image here. So I can click on it, add my alt text, add an image, or add a title if I need to. So I can do the same thing in Canvas. So I'm going to go to a Canvas course to show you an example of a page. So again, I already have my content added to this page. But I want to just go back and make sure that those two images have the alt text there. So I'm going to edit my page in Canvas. And just a quick tip with Canvas, because I know it bothers me when I am editing a Canvas page. This text box here where all of your content is pretty narrow. So you can come down here to these little dots and you can expand that so that you have a larger area to edit your content. So again, I already have my Canvas page set up with my headings, with my appropriate headings here. And I'm going to click on my image. This image I've already inserted onto the page. So I can just click the image and then click image options. And that will then allow me up here to add alt text. Now here it's kind of by default added the image, what I have it titled and saved as on my computer as the alt text. And I really don't want the screen reader to read that. So I'm going to subtract that. It gives me some prompting language there to describe the image. So again, I can describe that as what the image is. If this image was purely decorative, so it had really nothing to do, it didn't add any value to the content, I could go ahead and select the little decorative image, and then the screen reader would completely skip over this image when it was reading aloud. And then I can go ahead and say done, and it will apply that alt text to that image. Now, if I want to add another image here. So if I go to add an image, and I'm going to upload an image of my stratus clouds, and as I'm adding that image to my Canvas page, it will prompt me to add alternative text right there when I'm uploading my image. So I can, add in my alt text there. Stratus clouds, kind of low in the sky. And again, same thing with decorative image. I could submit that, and then it will add it to the page with the alt text already there. And then, of course, in Canvas, make sure you save and publish your page. So the same thing works in, let's see, Microsoft Word. If I have Microsoft Word, I have, again, the same document, just only in Word. I can right-click on that image, and here it will say View Alt Text. And then it gives me a nice little prompting there on how to, what you want to be thinking about as you're writing your alt text. Microsoft Word even has an area where you can generate the alt text for you. So if I click on that, let's see what it gives us. A blue sky with white clouds. I could, edit that and say white. Maybe I want to actually type in what type of clouds they are. And I have that option again to make it decorative if I want to. Is there a save option? No. So that automatically saves there when I do that. So I see a question in this specific example, does the alt text really add anything? I think I would just mark the image as decorative. Would this be correct? So yes, so in this instance, I pretty much have here listed in my bullet points kind of what's being described in the image already. And so I could just mark this image as decorative. So yeah, I would, maybe say that's correct. just to show you maybe this wasn't the best example for showing alt text, but so you can see how to add alt text. But I think you're right, it would be a decorative image. And then the last one I want to show you is adding alt text in a PDF. So let me open up a PDF, and I am opening it up in Adobe Acrobat Pro. And when I open it in Adobe, I want to click on All Tools, and then I want to go down and say View More, and then Prepare for Accessibility. And then it's going to give me the option to add alternative text. So I can click on there. And it's saying that Acrobat is going to detect all of the images within this document, and I can go through and just add alt text for all of the images in this document. So I'll say okay. Now, with a PDF, this is saying that there's no figure information to display. And that's because PDFs were really not designed to be accessible. And so it's basically just showing one big image right now in my PDF. It's an untagged PDF. So before I can actually add alt text to my images, I want to tag this PDF so it actually knows that there is text and there are images. So I can come up here and say automatically tag PDF. It will kind of run through that. And when it is done, it will show me now it tagged, my text, my different headers, and then here I can see figure, and then I see another figure down here. Those are my images. So now I should be able to say add alt text, and it finds that image for me. So again, I can add my alt text here. I also have the option to add it as a decorative image. So let's say this time I'm going to say decorative image. And then I can arrow over to all of the other images that I have in my document. Once I'm done, I'll say save and close, and then it applied that information to all of my images. All right. So the most robust web editors will have a very similar process for adding alt text. And most LMSs like Canvas will preserve titles and alt text when uploading or converting documents to HTML and web viewing. So likewise, a properly exported PDF will preserve title and alt text. So if I created a PDF first using Microsoft Word or Google Docs, if I created that document and in Microsoft Word or in Google Docs, I added ahead of time my alt text to my images, and then I downloaded or saved as a PDF, when I open up that PDF, that alt text should come over properly if it was designed correctly in the first place from the original source. So you can follow the same process to add alt text to tables, charts, and graphs as well. When describing a dense graphic like a table or a graph or infographic, alt text is probably not your best option for an in-depth description. In addition, you should remember that a visual explanation of the data set will be useful to a wide range of students. Not only students with visual impairment, but that's the great thing about universal design, is that it enriches the material and makes it better for all of your students. So let's take a look at an actual graphic. So I strongly recommend a description in the main text of your page or your slide, or in a caption for that graphic. A good description explains the content of the graphic that it's attached to. So in this example here, the caption makes clear which figure it's talking about, so figure 2.2. And then it says what the data is displaying, how it's being displayed, and it states the major takeaway point from the data. Now, there's no really standardized formats for captions of graphics the way that there is for alt text. So you'll need to place your captions on a case-by-case basis. So for example, like in Word or in Excel, you might have to insert a text box right underneath your graphic, your chart, or your graph. But in a layout program like a web builder or in Canvas, you'll probably have the option to insert a caption underneath your graphic. But either way, having a text description of data is extremely valuable to learner engagement and comprehensive. So it's worth figuring out and adding that in. So let's turn to what most people think of as multimedia, which is audio and video files. Alternate perceptual modes of audio files are pretty simple. A text transcript provides a direct equivalent. So if you're making a podcast, for example, the simple measure of just speaking from a script will give you a ready-made transcript. And posting it to the same page as your audio file provides that immediate alternate access. If you are narrating over a slide deck, then sharing the slide deck with your narration copied into the notes section, again, provides that, immediate alternate access without really being a burden to produce that. If you are not the one recording your audio clip, or if you're not speaking from a script, then you may want to use a free service like Tunes2Tube, which allows you to upload audio files to YouTube so that you can take advantage of YouTube's auto captioning feature. And this will give you a transcript that's about 70 to 85% correct. But then you'll be able to go in and easily edit and make changes to make it more accurate. You can now also use My Video's auto captioning service for audio files as well as video. So if you upload your audio files into My Video, then you'll be able to get that text transcript for your audio files as well. So I want to stop for a moment and actually show you what that looks like. So let me, go back and stop sharing. And we're going to go to Tunes2Tube. I'm going to show you that first. I'll show you that with an audio file. And then I will show you My Video in a little bit with a video file. So with YouTube, in order to upload an audio file to YouTube, you have to use some other sort of service. And so this Tunes2Tube allows you to do that. So I just recorded a audio file on my phone using like the voice memo app that comes on my iPhone. So I recorded that, I saved it, I emailed it to myself, and now I'm going to use it to upload here. And this Tunes2Tube website, I'm able to create an account with my Google account as well. So as long as you have a YouTube account using your email address, so I just used my UMich email address and have a YouTube account connected to that, then I can create a Tunes2Tube using that same email address, and it will connect the two accounts together. So I can select my audio file. I'm going to upload my audio file right here, and I'm going to open that. I'm going to title it, let's say, audio recording example. I can add additional things here. Now, with an audio file in YouTube, because there's no video to go along with it, it's going to want you to upload some sort of image that can be displayed in the player while your audio is playing. So I could upload an image if I wanted to, but you can create a background image right here. So I'm just going to say, create a background image, just kind of a plain black background. And then I'm going to say, create video. And it's going to encode and upload that for me. When it's done, it will let me know, yep, it's been uploaded to YouTube. I can click on that link there, or I can go over to my YouTube account, and if I refresh, sometimes it takes a second too. It should show up there. I can go directly from here as well.
One of the ways we can provide alternatives is in alt tags and type.
Okay, so I have my audio file there uploaded to YouTube. And now YouTube will provide some auto captions. Previously, you had to go in and actually request that. But now, when you upload either an audio file or a video file to YouTube, it will automatically create captions for your video. And once it's done processing, it will make those available here in your CC icon, your closed captioned icon. In order to view those closed captions, students will have to click on that to make them viewable. And then you also have the option to view a transcript. So while this one's still uploading, I have one that's already done. So this one here I did earlier. So we can see what that looks like. If I turn that on,
one of the ways
I'm able to see
is in
the closed captions popping up there for me. And then I can also show the transcript. So the transcript will then show on the right-hand side of my audio video file there that I could use. All right, so let's go back. Start our slideshow again. All right, so that's going to take us to video clips. And video clips are a staple of online learning, both as an engaging form of instructor presence in an online course, like your Canvas course, and as the medium of your course material. Video engages learners both visually and audibly and provides a lot of interpersonal cues that text alone cannot provide. So on the flip side of that, if a student has difficulty with one or the other of those, input channels, they start to lose a lot of the video content. And things, however, can be done to make a video more accessible, though including text captioning of the audio content, providing a description of overlapping video content. This will make your material more robust and understandable so that all of your students are able to understand. Text captioning especially is helpful for a wide variety of students. This could include second language learners, students with a degree of hearing loss, including students who may have to study in either a noisy environment or a really quiet environment where they have to turn the sound off. They're able to then view the text alternative. So some options for adding captions to your videos are YouTube's automatic captioning, which we went over with the audio file. But My Video's machine-generated captions or Adobe Premiere Pro are also options. And in any of these cases, there are some things that you can do to make your captions come out a little bit better. So again, starting from a script provides you with a ready-made transcript. For videos that consist mostly of just a speaker talking, a text transcript is sufficient in order to provide access to that content. If the video has additional information, such as demonstrations, graphics, animation, a script could be used to create automatic captions, and also increases the presenter's speaking confidence. Making sure that you enunciate clearly will help with speech recognition software correctly transcribe you, and it also regulates your speaking pace. Speaking up and projecting clearly, just like you would do if you were teaching in a lecture hall, means that you'll come through more clearly on the audio, and again, makes it more likely that the speech recognition software will transcribe you fully. So I want to go through and show you and practice this in my video, which is the platform integrated with Canvas. So I'm going to go back to my Canvas course. Now you can get to my video through Canvas by going to your account and then clicking on My Media. But you can also get to my video through just the My Video webpage. So myvideo.it.umich.edu. And when you log in, you'll go to the exact same My Media library that you are seeing in Canvas. So you can do it either way. So I have uploaded a couple of videos. I did do an audio example, and then I also did a video example so that you can see how those captions are created. So once I have a video or an audio file uploaded, I can go and number one, I can do this of one of two ways. I can click the little checkbox here next to the video or the audio file, and then I can come up to actions and I can say request captions. Or I can click on the little pencil for that video. And then if I scroll down and I come to the tab that says captions, I will have the option to request captions there. Now, as of, I believe it was April 22nd of this year, my video made a change. So any media that is uploaded to my video from April 22nd going forward, auto captions will be automatically created. You do not have to go in and request them. They will automatically be created and generated for you, and then you can go in and make edits to those in order to make them more accurate. However, any media that you had uploaded prior to April 22nd of this year, you will have to go back to that media and request auto captioning to be done to your video files. So I uploaded this audio example. I uploaded it today. And so it automatically, my video automatically kind of requested those captions, and they are here ready for me to edit. So I can go in and click edit captions. And you'll see, again, this is my audio file, so it's not going to have any video with it, but if I had video, you would see that here. And then it's going to have the different timestamps and what it is that I'm talking about. So I can click on any of these and I can make a change. So I might say one of the ways we can provide, or I might say a way we can provide, maybe it didn't, hear me correctly. Maybe I wasn't pronunciating that well enough. And so it changed that a little bit. So I can go through and I can make those changes. I can even add additional captions if I want to. I can delete captions altogether. So you really are able to kind of come in and customize and edit these captions so that they are, hopefully the goal would be 100% accurate. Right now, the standard that you want for it to be accessible is 99% accuracy. And then you would go ahead and say save, and it would apply that, those changes, and then you are good to go. And then I can go back to my file. Now I can, this attachment tab here, I can go to attachments, And this first attachment, oh, sorry, here it's the second one. You can see the file type at the end. So you want the TXT file type. That's just a simple text file type. I can download that. And when I download that, that is going to give me word for word, just in one document, what it is, a transcript of what was being said. So I could then copy that and use it elsewhere to provide, a text alternative that's outside of the closed captioning option if I needed to. This other file here that you see, you won't need that, the JSON. That's just helping to make the captions sync with the appropriate timing in the video. So I'm going to go back to my media. And show you on an example. So this one here, this was actually a video that I pulled over from YouTube. So with my video, if a YouTube video already has captioning, that's great. That will, come over when you upload it into my video. But if a YouTube video does not have captioning, or whatever video you're using from YouTube does not have captioning, it will automatically caption that as it passes through into my video. However, that the captioning that it's doing in my video will not pass back to YouTube if the YouTube video does not have captioning. So let me see if I can find one here that does not have, that I know I uploaded prior to, so this is a 2020, that was prior to April 22nd. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to click the edit button. Actually, that is not correct. I am going to click on the video itself. And then here I have this action button. I can click on action, and then I can click on request captions. So it says no captions were found. If the video was already captioned, you can only request captions for a video one time. So if you already requested captions, you cannot go and re-request them on a video. So this one, there were no requests found. So I can go ahead and say, yep, I want machine captions. I want them to be auto-generated. You can select your source media language. So whatever language the video is, that's the language you want to choose. This is not a translation service. So you have to select the video or the language that the original video is. So I'm going to select English. I can say submit. And then it says your request has been received. And then I can see right up here that it's pending. And it does, take a few minutes depending on the length of the video to actually come through. Once those, are done, then you'll be able to edit them. All right. So what's equally likely is that you'll have other people's videos that you've uploaded to your course. So when you're choosing video material to add to your course, look for the icon that indicates that it already has closed captions available. Most broadcasts in this country do require captions. So it shouldn't be as difficult as it may, seem to find a video that has closed captioning already. Modern HTML video players will indicate whether there is captioning with any of these different icons here that you see on the screen. For videos that do not have closed captions, then you can, upload them to any of those options that we talked about today. YouTube, My Video, Adobe Premiere Pro is another option, although it requires a little bit more expertise because you have to know how to use Premiere Pro, but it does offer a little additional customization for captioning features as well. So you can make it less necessary in your own videos by ensuring that your text and your audio are robust, that text, audio, and graphics all convey the equivalent information. So, for example, anyone reading only a transcript or listening only to the audio, for example, of this workshop, or viewing only the visual recording of the slides and the demo would come away with the same information. So my text and audio and video channels overlap each other without directly repeating each other. Direct repetition can be boring and even a little disorienting for your audience. So, overlapping and reinforcing your content, on the other hand, makes sure that the greatest possible number of students can access and understand the material. So this is what universal design of learning aims for, to not create extra burden on you as the faculty, or have it be an afterthought accommodation for individual students kind of here or there, but simply a broader point of view when creating your courses, which leads to materials that really won't need a lot of alteration in the future to be available to your students. So I have a lot of additional resources for you that I've linked here in the slides, and I will also link them in the follow-up email. But the first one is a 10-week challenge, accessibility challenge that you can sign up for, and that essentially is a 10-week email. So each week for 10 weeks, you'll receive an email that has different topics related to accessibility, resources, information, best practices, and like a little challenge task for you to do. And then you have the opportunity to earn a digital badge at the end of that. So that is being offered this fall, and then again in winter term. So there's a link there if you want to sign up for that. And then I provided additional resources for just general accessibility, for alternative text, for audio and video recordings. And then I did provide a resource section for Zoom and live meetings and recordings as well, although we didn't have time to cover that topic today. But there are some resources there for you to take a look at. And then, of course, if you have questions or you want help on a specific project or a specific Canvas course or resource that you're creating, you can always get in touch with my office, the Learning and Teaching Consultants within LSA Technology Services. So I've put our contact information there. And then there is lots of information on the U of M's accessibility website as well.